But instead, Mr. Beast sees the attack on the knight and brings the bishop back instead. And the queen is wondered, why doesn't he even take the queen? What? Why he takes the rook on h8? There is a free queen here, but instead he takes the rook instead. Oh, this is absolutely uncanny, bro. What is up, you chess brainiacs? Welcome back to another video on the Force Drive YouTube channel. Today we are going to be reviewing two of the most diabolical chess games I think I have ever seen in my entire life. As you can probably tell on screen, these games were in fact played by none other than Mr. Beast, the famous YouTuber, the viral influencer, the man who has generated billions, and I mean billions of views, billions of dollars, and we're going to review two of this man's chess games. And as you can see right here, he's actually 561 ELO. So if that's not a hint at what's to come, I don't know what is. So I'll go ahead and sit back, relax, and let's get right into that first game. All right, so for our first game of the day, we have Mr. Beast playing with the black pieces and his opponent playing with the white pieces. And oh my goodness, when I reviewed this game before I started recording, this game is just... So buckle your seatbelt, we got a bit of a bumpy ride here. So Mr. Beast's opponent opens the game up with e4, and he responds with d5. And this is called the Scandinavian defense, a very structured opening. Usually white will take this pawn here, and usually black will respond with taking with the queen. The knight will jump here, and you can either go here or here. And usually I play back here. Sometimes white will just like develop a bishop or something here, and you just basically play normal, right? But no. We see queen f3. And I tell all my beginners this, it is never a good idea to bring your queen out early. You always want to try and develop these pieces first. Very, very important that you do that and try and control these four squares as quickly as you possibly can. The queen should always probably never be moved until at the bare minimum, the 6th or 7th move of the game. For beginners. Obviously, if you're a little bit more advanced, it varies. But we see queen f3 played on the board, and Mr. Beast responds with the notorious e5. And honestly, I don't hate this move. I mean, like, I understand like what he's trying to do. He's trying to take some space, and like I just said, he's trying to control all this. But in the process, he low-key just blunders the pawn straight up. And that's exactly what happens. Mr. Beast's opponent takes the pawn on d5. And then we see c6, and Mr. Beast's opponent takes the next pawn. And then we see knight takes back. And honestly, it looks like a bit of like a gambit kind of thing. Yes, Mr. Beast is completely and utterly down a pawn, but he did get a little bit of a development here, so that's a good thing for him in this spot. So after this, we see knight h3. And this is a bad move because of it says knight d4 attacking the queen, and the queen has to come here and defend this pawn. And if the queen doesn't come here and defend that pawn, the knight's gonna go here, and it's gonna be a fork of the king and the rook. So the queen would have to go there, but instead we see knight f6, which honestly I still don't hate it. I don't hate it. You're developing pieces, get your pieces into the game, like it's principal play. I understand. After this we see d3, and in this position we see bishop g4. Great move from Mr. Beast. Bring the bishop in. It's covered by the knight attacking the queen. Now the queen has to move. The queen has to move, but the queen goes to f5. Plundering the queen in one single move. Yeah, the bishop can actually go backwards. And I don't think his opponent realized this. But neither did Mr. Beast. He moves his queen up to attack. This is a free queen. You beginners out here, just so you know, bishops can in fact go backwards, okay? Just note for everybody, if you don't take anything else away from this video, just know that bishops can in fact go backwards. So we see queen d7, and now Mr. Beast's opponent plays queen g5, sliding the queen over, and once again, the game is completely lost because of knight d4, like we just talked about. The knight's gonna get in here, and it's gonna create absolute havoc. And the only way to stop this, I believe, is to probably slide your queen all the way back, but then that's gonna lead to other issues down the road here. So after this, we see Mr. Beast castling queenside. Get your king to safety. I like it. I honestly don't hate it at all. You gotta be careful about this pawn, though. This pawn is only being covered by the bishop, so you gotta keep an eye on that. So after this, we see f3, attacking the bishop, and now this knight is low-key a bit of a liability here, because if the bishop were to take here, it'd be double pawns on this side, and anytime you can get that in that spot, very, very good. If you can double your opponent's pawns on the H file or the A file, so this file or this file, very, very good for you. But instead we see H6, and then we see H4, and honestly, like now if black does in fact take the knight here, like it's honestly not even that bad, because now the queen would just take, right? But no, the queen's still covering over here. and this pawn's gonna have to take, and you're gonna have double pawns once again. So after this, we see queen h4, we see g5 striking at the queen once again. And the queen slides back one more square. So the queen has gone on an absolute adventure. Let's review this real quick. We go, going on an adventure. We're going on an adventure. h5 is now played. And I don't know about you, but now I see this pawn, this bishop here hanging. And his opponent actually finds it. He takes the bishop. Well done by Mr. Beast's opponent, taking the bishop, seeing the free piece. We have a piece off the board, and his opponent is now up 4 pieces of material. And now we see knight takes on g4, played by Mr. Beast. And then we see bishop takes on g5, bishop e7. And honestly, Chess.com doesn't like that move, but I think that's fine. The rook is under fire. Defend that rook. All right. I see the vision. I think the vision is fine. The reason why this is a bad move is because after takes, knight takes back, you get bishop e2, and white gets development, right? But instead we see knight c3, followed by bishop takes on g5. And now the knight's going to take back, rook d g8. And now the knight is going to have to move. Or is it? Instead, the knight just gets blundered into one move. Before you make a move, yes, I know this is a blitz game. Make sure none of your pieces are hanging. Very important. And Mr. Beast does, in fact, spot the free knight. Well done by Mr. Beast. He takes the knight. Free piece. And then we see d4. And this is a blunder because this is literally just a free piece. Actually, it says a6. Bringing that, attacking the knight. Now the knight's going to have to go backwards. And now this is a free piece. But he does take the pawn here. And now we are even Steven once again. And also, now that this pawn has taken, this is in fact a free piece here. Just kidding. The bishop is still covered. But we see knight d6 check, followed by king d8. Best move on the board. Well done by Mr. Beast. And now Mr. Beast's opponent castles queenside. Best move on the board. Great stuff from Mr. Beast's opponent. So the best move here now would be to play rook g6, attacking the knight here, right? Try and get some trouble going on this file. You got to be careful because now this rook is sniping and x-raying all of this. Yes, the knight is still covering, but this is like a long-term threat that you need to keep in the back of your mind going forward. You can also play d5 here, apparently. You can also play rook d5 here, which would be a good move because you to further the defense of this pawn, you also attack here, so you could eventually get rid of that knight, and the queen cannot take because the queen is still covering. But just there's a couple moves here that you can play, and you need to just be very, very careful here. But instead, Mr. Beast plays h4. And this is bad because of queen f4 attacking this, and you also have a threat coming down here, and just a lot of stuff that you can start doing. And his opponent actually finds f4. Well done by his opponent. And then we see f5, and so by the way, the rook is hanging, Mr. Beast. The rook is hanging. I know you're only like 500 elo, but like whenever you move a piece, make sure you're not blundering a piece in one move. And his opponent does take on g5. And now his opponent is up a rook again. King c7, and now the queen takes on f5. And now the king takes the knight on d6. And the king's just in the middle of the board. And ideally, you probably, like you want to try and keep material on the board, so you probably should have taken with the queen, although you would have blundered this, so that would have been pretty bad. But you just, okay, I do understand taking with the king here. You do defend the knight, and then the queen is going to take the... I thought he was going to take the queen here. That's insane. He takes the knight and blunders the queen at one move, and Mr. Beast, all he has to do is take the queen, and he does in fact find it. Absolute slurry of a game here. Mr. Beast was down 5 pieces of material, and now he is in fact the one who is up. Insanity. So after this, we see rook takes on rook takes on d4, and now the queen is going to take here, and now Mr. Beast is in fact in the driver's seat, and this game is absolutely done said match. c3 played by his opponent, followed by queen f4 check played by Mr. Beast. And all Mr. Beast has to do is probably get this rook in here, maybe get the queen down here, the king's going to have to go here, and checkmate's going to be brewing in just a couple of moves, right? We see rook f8, and now, honestly, you probably could have just gone queen f2 just straight up. Bishop e5, and this is a blunder, or this is a mistake, because of queen e4 check, bishop has to go here, and then you go here, and now the king's going to have to go here or here, and then this piece is going to be hanging right here, the bishop's going to be hanging right here. And that's in fact what was played. But instead of moving the bishop back, the king now slides down, and now it is mate and 9. Mate and 9. and the queen takes the pawn on g2. I honestly don't mind it. Get material off the board, try and simplify. Rook f1, and that straight up just blunders a rook. Because if the rook takes, the bishop's gonna come back and take, and you're gonna win the, oops, not there. You're gonna win this piece. But Mr. Beast sacks the queen on f1. Exquisite touch from Mr. Beast, but it is to no avail because the bishop's gonna take, but he is still up material. And this game is completely over now. White has no more pieces on the board. This game is completely done, said match. We see a4 played now by Mr. Beast's opponent, rook f2, followed by c4. Rook takes on h2, king c3, rook e2, and then essentially it is just a bit of a cleanup bout here for Mr. Beast. And he wins a very chaotic game as his opponent runs out of time on move 40. Absolute insanity. This game was absolutely insane, bro. Queen f5 was insane. Just straight up blundering the queen. And then Mr. Beast's opponent also blundered the knight here because this was hanging. And then Mr. Beast played h4, and this just straight up blundered queen h4 or queen f4. Insanity. And then queen takes here, and then that just straight up blundered the queen. After he was literally up 4.7. He was up so much material and blundered here. But that was just the first game. I have one more game I'm going to show you here, and this game is even crazier than the first game. So do not go anywhere, guys. Stay right there, and let's get right into that game. All right, so for our second game of the day, played by Mr. Beast, he is once again playing with the black pieces, and this game's going to be a little bit different compared to the first game. There are actually a couple of brilliant moves in this game. So buckle your seatbelt, y'all. We got another bumpy ride ahead of us. So first move we see on the board is d4, played by white, and Mr. Beast responds with e5. And this right here is the England gambit. And usually 9 times out of 10, we'll see d takes a pawn here on e5, and then we'll see something like knight c6, knight f3, knight f3 here. Usually you'll go d5. If the pawn takes here, usually you'll play bishop takes, and you just get a little bit of development here as black. Yes, white is in fact in the lead, but black has a lot of opportunities to capitalize. But instead we see c3, and now the pawn can usually take here, but you can also play e4, pushing the pawn a little bit more forward, taking a little bit more space. But he takes the pawn, and honestly, I don't hate it. C takes back on d4, and then we get d5. e3 is now played by his opponent, and now Mr. Beast needs to get his bishops into the game, knights in the game, and then castle. That's what you need to do right here. We see bishop f5, followed by knight c3. Knight c6 is now played by Mr. Beast, knight f3. And this game already looks very, very structured. It looks so much better than the first game. There's nothing that could go wrong, right? Now we see queen d7, and honestly, not a bad move. I don't hate it. He's trying to castle queenside. I understand. I totally get it. Queen a4 is now played, and Mr. Beast does in fact castle. But you have to be very, very careful now because now this knight's the only thing covering this pawn right here. You have to be very, 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 very careful. White responds now with a3, and in this position, Mr. Beast plays bishop b4. And this move is bad for a couple of reasons. One, you just straight up blunder your bishop. Pawns can actually take here. And actually, after the pawn does take here, white now has a insane battery coming down this a file. And Mr. Beast, he has to try and defend this. Usually you need to play a move probably like this, or something along the lines of that. You could probably play queen d6 though first, because the knight is still covering here. And you create an escape route now for your king. But if white pushes this pawn here, the knight's gonna have to move now. And if you don't move this knight, the knight's gonna hang. So let's say black does play knight b4. Queen takes on a7, and the queen is coming in here, and the king's gonna have to escape, and black's position is completely and utterly compromised. But instead of taking the bishop, his opponent plays bishop d2. Followed by bishop takes a knight here, and Mr. Beast somehow survives getting his bishop taken. Absolute insanity. Absolute and utter insanity. We now see the bishop take back on c3, and then we see knight f6. And this move is very, very bad because of bishop b5. And now there is a double attack here, because if the bishop, let's say the bishop goes here, you see takes, and now this file is completely exposed. Black has doubled pawns, and These pawns are going to start storming here. White is going to castle, and the rook's going to come over here, and you just have a massive, massive, massive attack coming down on your queen side, which is where your king decided to castle. And we do in fact see bishop b5 played by white. Great move there. I love it, I love it, I love it. We now see king b8, because I mean your king's already like safe as it stands. Like why not like move it more so into danger? We now see knight e5 played by white, and that's the best move on the board, and I actually love it. He's threatening this fork now. Yes, I know the queen is still covering this pawn, but eventually if this bishop does take here for reasons I just explained, if the queen takes back here, ooh, the queen can't even take back there because the knight's now attacking here too. And if black takes this knight, this queen's going to be hanging here. Queen e6, played by black. And this blunders the game completely and utterly in one single move. Yes, the game was already lost. It was plus 3.5. But now you just blunder a complete and utter insane fork. But apparently that is in fact the wrong move. The wrong move. The best move here would have been to actually just take the knight here on c6. Because after the b pawn takes, bishop takes. Oh, you have to sack the queen. If you don't sack the queen, let's say you go here, checkmate's gonna be coming. Queen a6 check, king can only go here, and then checkmate. Insanity. But the knight takes. And white is going to win material in this spot. Yes, I know, but at what cost? And black should probably move the queen here now because like the queen's under attack, right? Like the queen's obviously more costs a little bit more than these rooks. So ideally you probably want to move the queen here. But instead Mr. Beast sees the attack on the knight and brings the bishop back instead. And the queen is blundered. White doesn't even take the queen. What? White takes the rook on h8. There is a free queen here, but instead he takes the rook instead. Oh, this is absolutely uncanny, bro. This is insane. White is still up as it stands, but he had a free queen here, a free queen. The rook takes back on h8, and then we see castles for white, followed by knight g4. And now, white has a little bit of stuff to worry about here. Also, can we just take a moment? White was plus 5.4, and after this array of moves, it is now only plus 2. White is still in the driver's seat, but he had a chance to absolutely massacre the black position, but he was not able to capitalize here. He's still up 3 pieces of material, though, as it stands, but he has to be very, very careful now. We now see g3. And that blunders everything because of queen h6. Pawn pushes here. Let's try that real quick. So the pawn pushes here now, d5. And if the pawn takes, mate in 1. But we see h5, played by Mr. Beast, followed by bishop e2. Then we see h4. Excellent, excellent move from Mr. Beast. Because if white takes this pawn, once again, it's going to be mate in 1. You cannot take that pawn. You literally cannot take that pawn. But we see bishop takes the knight here, and the bishop's going to take back here, right? Like there's no way the bishop is going to take back here. Nope. The pawn takes. Because why not? Why not just sack a piece? Like white literally just took a piece here, and black needed to take this piece back to further the attack. But instead he takes his pawn. And honestly, to be honest, I see the vision. Keep chopping away at the white position. And in this position, a move like bishop takes on d7 is a good move. Like that seems very, very principled to me. Queen d1 is also an option here. You can come here and defend this bishop here and honestly just defend the threat here on your position. But white actually plays a brilliant move. It's f takes on g3. Hanging a bishop in one move. Because after black takes that bishop, rook a e1, and the pawns are going to start storming down the board. And it's like a 5-move sequence, and there's no way in hell white knew that was going to be a brilliant move. But he hangs the bishop here after playing a brilliant move, and there's absolutely no freaking way white saw this. After this, we see e4. And now the brilliant move is to no avail. We see bishop h3, attacking the rook, because rook is bad. And we see he takes on d5. The rook is still hanging here. I guess still, like, if black were to take the rook here, which is actually what happened in the game. Let's say the pawn now takes here. Pawn takes here. Pawn takes back. Okay, so pawn takes here, and we see something like bishop d3 maybe to try and get the bishop out of danger. So bishop d3, pawn takes here, king takes, and then, yeah, it's just like a roller coaster of emotions. Engine is calling for queen h6 instead. Oh wait, oop. Engine is calling for queen h6 instead. But that is not in fact what happens. Instead, we see king takes on f1. And in this position, Mr. Beast plays the best move on the board. The only move that can force a checkmate in 6 moves. Rook takes on h2. Chess.com gives us a brilliant move. I don't believe for a single second that Mr. Beast ever saw this being a brilliant move. And the reason why this is a brilliant move is because there is no way you can stop checkmate. Because after the c pawn takes on c6, you're going to bring the queen down here to take on g3, and the king cannot go here, the king cannot go here, the king can't go here or here or here because the rook is blocking, the queen is blocking, and the king is completely and utterly suffocated. And that's exactly what happens. The queen takes on g3, and then we see d5, and in this position, Mr. Beast finds checkmate on f2. An absolute roller coaster of emotions, but at the end of the day, Mr. Beast finds the best move on the board. I'm honestly not too sure why this would be a brilliant move. I feel like that's pretty basic, but honestly, for 500 elo, I feel like that is a brilliant move. Like, I can't even hate. Like, Mr. Beast, well done finding rook takes on h2. And then this was actually very exquisite here. Finding the pawn here on g3, and then his opponent doesn't see. Like, honestly, there's no move you can even play here. I guess you could play bishop here. That's the only thing that stops checkmate here in a couple of moves. Because after here... Wait, no, it's main. Oh, no, it's still maiden one. King can't go here or here because the bishop's blocking. Crazy. Crazy stuff. And Mr. Beast wins an exquisite game. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and tell me what you thought of these games. Did you know Mr. Beast had a chess.com account? Did you know he even played chess? I was assuming he'd be a little bit higher elo, right? Like, the guy's smart. He's like the best YouTuber in the entire world. Like, he has to be a little bit better at chess. Nope. He focuses more on YouTube and doesn't play chess like us, who are just absolute nerds. We're not nerds, we're smart, okay? Don't anyone tell you otherwise. We are all smart, we're all geniuses. Yeah, I am lying. I think I actually have brain damage. Anyways, comment and tell me what you think of this game. Comment and tell me what you think of Mr. Beast play. And if you enjoy chess content, please be sure to subscribe. I post these videos every single day, and I think you will find my videos very, very interesting and very, very funny and helpful. And also, guys, we have a Discord server. There's going to be a link in the description down below, and all you got to do is click that, hop in, and we have chess tournaments, daily checkmates. We do checkmates instead of chess puzzles because checkmates are way more fun. And we have a bunch of other awesome, fun stuff, and a thriving chess community that is on fire to improve at the game we all love. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy, I highly recommend you check it out. And also, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to check out this video. This video was very fun to make, and I think you'll find it very, very, very funny. So, for the last time, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace.